my motto, nothing's ever holding back.
Welcome back to another episode of the Lone Road iRacers podcast. I'm your host, Guy Robertson, and today we're diving into one of the most painful yet confusing and relatable topics in all of iRacing. Why does your iRacing suddenly plummet? You're driving clean, you feel fast, you're showing up and putting in the time in the seat, but your iRating is dropping like a stone in water, and you start thinking, what am I doing wrong? Today we're breaking this down in full detail. We'll explore the invisible forces behind those tough weeks, and we'll walk through how to deal with it mentally, strategically and emotionally. This is one of those episodes you want to keep safe for the next time iRacing decides to break your spirit. Here we go. Now, the reason I've chosen this topic for this week's podcast is this has kind of happened to me this week. The tracks haven't suited me perfectly, although I can get around them, shall we say. But basically, my iRating is tanked, and it's tanked about 500 IR in a week, folks. And that can affect people. It affected me slightly, so I thought I would talk about my experience and link it to this podcast. So there's been some brilliant racing on Summit Point, but it is a stock track for a start, so you get lots of people on there. At times there is well over 100 people registered, so you get a right mix of people and abilities. They may be fast for 1 or 2 laps, but they have no long-term racecraft, so they end up dive bombing, punting you off, and it's usually been towards the end of the race. So I have damage, I have a meatball, I have to go to the pit. You have zero chance of catching up to gain a little bit of iRating or even to minimise the losses. So I've been taking big hits of 80, 90 and 100 drops in certain races, folks. So that can affect us all as iRacers, so I thought we would dedicate today's podcast to that kind of topic. So the nature of iRacing, it's not a reward system. iRating is a dynamic number that reflects your recent results in comparison to your opponent's ratings. That's basically iRating, and it's a ladder progress system. It's like ELO in chess or matchmaking rating in esports titles. It's not designed to make you feel good. It's designed to find actually where do you belong. So if your skill is improving but you're still finishing behind other drivers, your iRating may drop. It's not about effort, it's about results relative to other racers. Sometimes you're entering splits with drivers slightly above your level and consistently finishing outside the top 10, or you're still learning a new driving style, setup or car behaviour. The system doesn't account for effort, it accounts for finishing position and relative performance only. It doesn't know that you might your ability, or you think you might be better or worse. So if you're going through a learning curve or skill plateau, your iRating can drop even as you build fundamentals. Think of it like rebuilding your house's foundation. Things may look worse before they get better. And a pro tip here, don't treat iRating like a bank account. It's a placement tool. Progress happens in your performance stats, not your number. iRating, as we know, rotates weekly content, and some combinations highlight weaknesses in your skill set. Maybe it's trail braking, maybe it's throttle modulation, maybe it's racing in traffic, but there's a reason you are slower, faster than other people on the track. Let's say you descent in the Mazda MX-5 at Lime Rock Park, But this week it's the Formula V series at Summit Point. Suddenly you're struggling for some reason. You're losing tenths in corners and you don't fully understand. You're missing braking markers, misjudging camber or bumping tyres in longer races. And you're not alone. It happens to us all. A poor car or track combo doesn't cost you tenth. It costs you consistency. It saps confidence and that affects your racing decisions, overtakes, exit and how to defend. Over a few races you can drop hundreds of iRating, that's me, because you're racing a combo that doesn't suit your current skill profile. Pro tip here, don't force it. If a combo feels awkward, take the week off or run time trials to build consistency in private. So we're going to be back in a minute and we're going to talk about something known as tilt spiral. I've never heard of tilt spiral, so we're going to learn about it in this next section. The tilt spiral then. I've never really heard of it, but we're going to hear about it now. You lose IR in a frustrating race and immediately you hit that Q button again to race that same race in the next session. And again and again. You're not driving to win anymore, you're driving to get that iRating back. And this is me all over. This is typical how I approach iRacing at the moment. This is how drivers fall into the tilt spiral. You overdrive corners, force passes, stay in races you should skip, and suddenly you're gone from a 2000 IR driver to 1600 in 1 or 2 races. This happens because you're reacting emotionally, not rationally. You're racing with desperation, not discipline. The solution here is quite simple really. Step away, analyse replays, take a breath. Even take 1 night away from the sim can help you reset. Create personal rules like, if I lose 100R in 1 night, I stop. It's not weakness, it's a strategy. So that is something called the tilt spiral. And as I've said through there, it's as if I know what I'm doing, but it's just like a drug, you can't stop it. SOF, or strength of field, also plays a huge role in how iRating is awarded. Let's say your race during peak European evening hours. You'll get into a strong split with the top drivers. Finishing 8th gives you plus 25 iRating. Now you run that same combo at 2 AM. Your split is weaker. You're the top ranked driver in the room. Now 8th place gives you minus 38. The variance isn't due to performance, it's all about timing. iRating punishes poor finishers when you're expected to do well. And if you don't understand the strength of field shifts, your IR might seem like it's dropping unfairly. Use tools like iRacing stats or third-party race trackers to understand your SOF and plan your races. Tip here is don't chase races, choose them. Look for times when healthier SOF splits to avoid uneven races. This is the one that is most overlooked. Dynamics. You think you're racing at your best. You're even a few tenths off your lap time, but the field has improved even faster. Maybe a content creator featured your combo. Maybe a league just ended and the aliens dropped into your series. Suddenly you're slower relative to the split, even if you personally feel sharp. This is where many racers mistake progress for stagnation. They think I'm working hard, but I'm going backwards. You're not. You're just raced against people who trained even harder this week. Stay the course. Progress isn't always immediate, and your moment will come. Now we're going to be back in a minute and we're going to talk about forcing iRating growth. Trying to force your way to a milestone like 2k, 3k or even 4k like I'm trying to do is a trap. The more you chase a number, the more pressure you put on each race. That pressure leads to riskier decisions, tighter muscles and panic driving. A better approach is to let iRating follow consistency. Build routines, work on pace, incident avoidance and racecraft. Track your old progress by your average finish over 5 races, your 0x race percentage, your qualifying delta versus the leaders. These are real indicators of future iRating. When you race smart and steady, iRating naturally climbs. Then there is the mental toll, how iRating loss affects you and me. iRating slumps don't just bruise your stats, they mess with your mind. You start feeling like a failure. You question your abilities, you compare yourself to others, and that affects how you race, how you practice, and even how you show up. This mental stress creates a feedback loop. You feel fear the drop. You race while you're tense. You make mistakes. Then you drop more. And then you lose confidence. It's a vicious spiral. This is why mindset is critical to iRacing. You need to build mental habits. Journal your races. Write down positives and lessons. Focus on what you can control, not IR, not SOF, but your lines, your braking and your vision. Celebrate small wins, a clean race, a good recovery, a smart defensive move. iRating doesn't define you, it just reflects where you are right now, and it's never permanent. How many times, have you heard me on the podcast say iRating is like a yo-yo? Some weeks the track matches your skills and the drivers, sometimes it doesn't. And that's why your iRating goes up and down. Climbing back with purpose. This is what we're calling recovery mode. When your IR drops, you need a recovery plan. Not a desperate grind, but a methodical reset. Switch to a car you can trust, something stable, familiar, and you feel comfortable in. Avoid chaos combos. Stay away from high incident series for a bit. Run time trials for confidence and SR boost. Qualify more. Starting mid-pack increases risk. A solid quali further up the field can transform your race. And don't forget about watching replays. Find 3 key moments where you lost time or made bad calls and adjust. Set a realistic goal. Top 10 finishers, sub 4x races, not iRating. Recovery is about control, viewers and listeners. Reclaim it race by race. So to wrap up today's podcast, look, some weeks are just brutal. I've been on this service now over 3 years, and you get these epiphany moments through your iRating career. And one of them is about the yo-yo that I talked about earlier. Ups and downs in iRacing. They come and go, but you've got to get out that glum week when it's happening to you. And sometimes it's very hard. It's not easy. iRacing seems to fight you at every turn at times. But understand, you're not alone and it's not permanent. You're growing and growth always comes with discomfort. So the next time your IR drops 2, 3, 400 points, don't panic. Take a step back, refocus. Remember, this is part of the journey. Thanks for listening to the Lone Road iRacers podcast again, viewers and listeners. If this episode has helped you, share it with your team or fellow iRacers. And remember, you and me are more than just our iRating. Now, I'm going to do a quick teaser for next week's episode, which is all going to be about Summit Point, the hidden teacher in your rookie career. Now, next episode, we're going to take a deep dive into one of iRacing's most overlooked circuits, Summit Point Raceway. Why is it still relevant after all these years? What can I teach you about car control, discipline and consistency? Sorry, what can it teach you, not me? We'll explore its history, break down each sector in detail, and explain why this little American track is secretly one of the best places to level up your sim racing fundamentals. If you've ever written off Summit Point as a starter circuit, you'll want to tune in for this one, folks. Well, that's me done. Happy iRacing, and I'll see you on the track soon.
Whatever it takes, we're racing, we're in the zone. Whatever it takes, we push hard, never alone. I'm in the cockpit, the engines roar, hear me now. We're racing circles, got a hustle made a vow. Chasing victory, it's all or nothing on the track. Sweet is my motto, nothing's ever holding back. Whatever it takes.